And you know, it really just amazes me as far as how many people are actually afraid of their power. How many people are afraid of their gift. How many of us dim our light to make other people feel special, to make other people feel good? Like people always ask me, like, don't you feel lonely on this path? And I can honestly say, yes, I do at times. Um, but I've gotten well. For one, I was the only child, so I've kind of been alone my whole life. So I'm kind of used to a certain degree. But it really comes a time where you have to really take time for yourself and learn yourself and really begin that process of loving yourself. And let me say this too. People always say love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. That takes time and it changes over time because once you get to a place of loving yourself, it's like, ooh, okay, good. I love myself. Now what's next? I don't think it's as much about loving yourself as much as it's about loving yourself, but I think it's more about accepting yourself. Like, we have to learn how to accept ourselves and our process and what we do and what we don't do and what we can't do and our inconsistencies. Like, that in and of itself will bring you so much peace in your life. Like, that in and of itself. And that's when you really can begin the process of listening, of learning, of really beginning to engage yourself, of really being able to love yourself and trusting your process. Then once you do that, you're not held by another person's expectations of what they think your life should look like. Because this is what I would tell you. The path that we walk spiritually is not a path that a lot of people accept. You know, well, publicly, not a lot of people don't accept it publicly, but behind closed doors, you know, they hitting up people and calling these psychic hotlines and going to these people in the backwoods of Louisiana. You know, you yeah, it gets crazy. It gets crazy. But when you are walking this path, you guys, I want you to know that you're walking a path that will make you feel alone. But as you really begin to walk through and you start to pull out the weeds and you start to do things, you will begin to expand yourself to a new level. That you'll begin to expand yourself to a level of understanding, of universal understanding, of godly understanding to a certain degree, to the point that you begin to attract and magnetize to you the people that will be able to surround you and love you for you and not who they want you to be. And that's what you have to want for yourself. Like, you have to want it for yourself. Like, I always think for myself, Jesus. You know, there was times when Jesus walked with people, and there was times when he walked alone, where he had to go into the wilderness to do what? Learn him, to sit with him. He sat on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights, and the devil, ego, tried to get in the way and tried to say, who do you think you are? If you just follow the path of the world, I can give you everlasting life. I can give you this. I can give you the world. You can have fame. You can have money. You can have this. You can have that. But what did Jesus say? Jesus said, get thee behind me. So when he said, get thee behind me, for me, what does that mean? That means I choose God. I choose me. I choose what I know is inside of me. Because that thing that's on the inside of you, it takes time to be birthed. It takes time to come out. It takes time to be developed. It takes time for you to see it. Once you see it, that's when other people experience it. Because it's easy for other people to say, oh, I see growth in you. Oh, I see this. Oh, I see that. But you have to see it first. You have to know it first. And you're not going to know it if you try to open the door and you close the door. You dabble a little bit here. You dabble a little bit there because there's no persistence. There's no science in that. You know, when people are doing things scientifically, it takes years for them to figure certain things out. It takes research, studying yourself, learning what you like, learning what you don't like, learning your strengths, learning your weaknesses, learning all of those things. It takes time. And it's a process. And this is the thing, your process is your process alone. Your process is not other people. Your process is not them, it's you. So don't judge your process based off of someone else's process because you'll have people that will advance very fast in the beginning, but then slow down towards the middle. You'll have people that start off very slow in the beginning and then they advance extremely fast towards the middle and the end. But I can't really say end because there's no such thing as an end. I don't believe because I believe you can either walk around in a circle or you can do a spiral. It's up to you. You know, it goes back to the Bible for me. Moses walked around in the wilderness for 40 years, but it could have took him 4 days. I believe if he would have sat down and listened to what he already knew, it wouldn't have took that long.